Hi everyone, and welcome once again to my YouTube channel, Woman Enough for Marriage. This is a channel where we talk about everything marriage and where we try to acknowledge that to make a success of marriage, it's not about being woman enough or being man enough. Today we'll be talking about success. What set me thinking about success in relation to marriage was the recent news of a very successful man who recently announced the divorce of his wife after nearly 30 years of marriage. And it just set me thinking that actually this man is a very successful man in the eyes of the world. How do we define success? He is probably now a successful man with a failed marriage. That's the way it will be described. But how do you describe success? What is success to you? What is a successful marriage to you? What is success in life to you? As a couple, what do you see? What would you see as, how would you describe the success that you're hoping to attain? Success has been defined as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. And it's the opposite of failure. It's the status of having achieved and accomplished an aim or objective. Basically, being successful means the achievement of desired visions and planned goals. So as a married couple, let's even start with that. What are your goals? What is your vision? Or what are your visions as a couple? What is it that when you achieve it, you can say this is our success? Or are we describing success the way the world would describe success? The world describes success in terms of wealth. If you live in a massive house, you drive flashy cars, you wear designer clothes, designer bags and things like that, or you are the top of the ladder in your career. Those are the ways that the world defines success. But how do you define success? What is success to you? What will make you think that I'm successful as a husband, or make the wife think I am successful? Or as a couple, what will make you think you are successful? If we look at what the Bible says about success, a few scriptures that came to mind. Mark 8:36 says, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit their soul?" And I'll put it to you as well. What good is it if you become successful, you become the top executive in your career, or you're successful in the eyes of the world, you are a household name, and then you're not successful in marriage? If we look at the parable of the rich fool in Luke 12:13-21, verse 15 especially, where Jesus says, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed." And then he says, "Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." And that's how the world will want you to see success, that it's in the abundance of what you possess, in how much money is in your bank account, in how much car you're riding is, how much the house you're living is, and all sorts of things. But is that actually success? Can we not be content with, can somebody who is not wealthy, who is not rich in terms of money, can they not be successful? Verse 20-21, when Jesus was then warning them through that parable, he says, "But God said to the rich fool that says, 'Oh, I'm so rich now, I can now relax,' and all that." God says to him, "This very night your life will be demanded from you." And then it says, verse 21 says, "This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God." One thing that we need to realize is success in the eyes of the world. There is a cost for it. There is a cost for success. Success don't just come. Someone is paying for it. And I think in marriage, if the way we see success is in terms of the things that you possess, where you are, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that these things are not right. By all means, be the top in what you do, be the best in what you do, be the top executive that you can be. Aspire. I am not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm trying to say that sometimes in the process of achieving this so-called what we call success, we pay some price that are not commensurate to achieve that success. Say, for example, the price that somebody is paying for making money is not spending time with their spouses, or not having time to bring up their own children, and letting maybe nannies and nurseries and schools or even television to bring up their children. That is not a price that is commensurate to the success. And that comes down to the choices that we then have to make. Because when we are, like Jesus says, if we are consumed with greed, if the success that we see is, oh, I'm driving a £1,000 car now, oh, I need to drive a 20,000, and then that is your drive, then you probably be walking round the clock, not have time to nourish the relationship that you have with your spouse. And that is the price that you are paying. I'm not by any means saying that this is what happened in the case I'm referring to, but I'm just trying to say that sometimes how we define success then determines the choices that we make. If it comes to making a choice to be a stay-at-home mom and look after your children and have time to build a home, to making a choice of, oh, if I take this time out, I'm going to fall back in my career, and I will not be content, I will not be seen as successful, then you rather choose to let somebody else look after your children, which, I've had people look after my children. I'm not by any means preaching that women should not work. I'm just using this as an example to say sometimes we have to make some difficult choices that if the way we define success, if the way we see success is skewed, then those choices will be very, very difficult for us to make. How does our choices then affect the priorities? Our choices reflect our priorities. If we can't get our priorities right, then our choices will be wrong. We can't say that, some people say that a woman, is happy as long as she has money. So a man will feel that his priority is to just go out there and make as much money as he can make, and give the woman a beautiful house, lavish her with money. But is that all a woman wants? Is it just about money? Is it just about wealth? Is it just about comfort? What about relationship? What about friendship? What about connection? We need time to build substance. There's more to a relationship, there's more to marriage than all those fickle things that people just tend to say, as long as she has money. There's more to marriage than just money. And so we need time to build substance into our relationship. And the question I'm going to ask us is, what are you sacrificing for the success that you're achieving? Is it the time with your spouse to show that you care and that you love them, to pay attention to them and to the things that bothers them? Is it time with your children that you're sacrificing? Because don't be disillusioned. Whatever success, as long as it's success in the eyes of the world, the success as the world describes it, whatever price that you are paying, if you don't look critically at it, it might be a price that is not commensurate. You might be sacrificing more important things in your life, in your marriage, and in your home for the success that you think you're achieving. These are the kind of conversations that couples should be having. You need to be regularly having a conversation to realign your priorities. Realign your priorities, think about what is important, check that you are both still going in the same direction, check that you are climbing the same ladder of success, so that by the time the ladder is you're on top, you won't then find out that the ladder is resting on a wrong on the wrong ground or on the wrong wall. 30 years is a long time to be married. In fact, 5 years is a long time to be married, and then for it to end in divorce. But if couples are not having these conversations, if couples are not constantly looking at their priorities and realigning their priorities, then things like that can happen. We need to start living for our marriages, not living for work, not living for our businesses. If we are not careful, we can lose sight of what is important. Growing old together is not only something that is reserved for our grandmothers. It's still possible for us in this age. But we need to know that no one survives on crumbs. So if you can't survive on breadcrumbs, then no relationship can survive on crumbs, leftovers. So we can't possibly spend all our energy, our emotions, all the resources that we have, physical, emotional, psychological, in the pursuit of success. Whatever makes us feel good, however we see success. And then we expect our relationship to thrive on the leftovers. That's not how it works. What you sow is what you reap. So I just want to end by saying, in the pursuit of success, let us be careful not to sacrifice the most important thing, the most important gift that God has given us, the gift of marriage, the gift of companionship, the gift of our children. They are all precious gifts that God has given us. So let us be careful not to sacrifice them in our pursuit of success. Thank you for joining me once again. If you like this channel, please like it, subscribe to it, and you can forward the link to people that you think might benefit from what we're talking about as well. Let's remember, marriage is to be enjoyed, not to be endured.